Hello, my name is Lizzie. Each fortnight I'm bringing along a different origami fold, and that's to encourage you to give yourself some time out to get a little bit creative, do something new, challenge yourself and find how much is possible with purely a piece of paper. So this fortnight I'm bringing along a beautiful kind of envelope purse, and it's been designed by Yoshizawa, who Akira Yoshizawa is very much seen as the grandfather of modern origami. He invented so much, by his own calculations, 50,000 different models. How utterly astonishing. This is a wonderful piece. It sort of holds together as a little container, but it can also be opened up. It's a sort of an envelope really, so you can see, you can open it up and you could have written or kept something in there special. It's also just a really lovely shape. I've really enjoyed making lots of them and sort of putting them together and making patterns with them as well. So I hope you'll find this as delightful as I do, and I'm just thinking this time of year it's nice to get a little bit cozy and to make something a little bit decorative, nice to do indoors. I learnt this fold from a wonderful book which the British Origami Society kindly gave me, Secrets of Origami, The Japanese Art of Paper Folding by Robert Harbin, and I just love the illustrations in this. It's very beautiful, and it also contains a mixture of traditional designs as well as designs by others as well. So this is to show you the little diagram there, but it's rather nice. I don't know if you can see that, and that's what I'm going to be teaching you. So if you have two coloured paper, it's quite nice to get those patterns, but as you can see with plain paper it's still just wonderful too, so whatever you have will be great. And I will show you how to make a square, and then we'll get folding as well. So if you grab something to press on, a little board and a piece of paper, and if you have origami paper, use that. If you don't, join me. I'm just going to go from a A4 piece of paper and I'm going to get folding from there. So with my piece of paper here, I'm going to simply fold it in half. And I always like to say, just go slowly. When you go slowly, it's all relaxing. So all I'm doing is halving my piece of paper. Good strong fold means then I can do a little tiny knit there. And then you can tear off quite easily, like so. And next I will take a corner, I will line it up to make a nice little sharp pointy triangle, right angled triangle, and I will remove this strip here. So all you need to do is flip it over, pick up that rectangle, pull it back and line it up like so. Good strong fold, and then if you do a little nick there, then you can tear it off. So what you're left with is a square with a diagonal fold. Now if you've got origami paper, give it a diagonal fold. So probably if you want most of the colour on the outside, then this should be white and the outside would be coloured. So I've done one diagonal, I'm going to do the other as well. So let's do the other diagonal too. There we go. And then opening it up like so. So next we're going to take one side, this diagonal side, and bring it to the vertical side. So I'm doing it one side like so. Be nice and accurate, nicely through that tip there. We might as well do the other side at the same time. So this side and bringing it here. It looks like a kite now. There we go. There we go. Right, and now open up both your sides. And we're going to do the same thing at the other end. So we're going to take this diagonal side and bring it to the length of both these edges, like so. Just enjoy taking your time, nice and slowly. Go one side and then the other one too. Okay, like so. So you're happy with it. There we go. Right, So now you can open that up, and it's already a lovely shape, isn't it, in itself? What we're going to do next is we're going to sort of bring in the side, and can you see I'm sort of pinching it so that this comes a little flat. It's also seen as a fish fold. You can see why it's got like a little fin there. So on the other side too, I'm bringing in the sides and I'm sort of squeezing, and that helps bring it along the folds that you've already done. And there you go. I would recommend bringing it down and then bringing it up. You can also make whales this way as well. There we go. So lying that down. Right, so hopefully it's looking like that for you. Our next step is I'm going to go to this end. I've got these lying down here. I am going to be taking this edge and I'm going to be lining up with that line. So I'm going to take this inside edge and lining up, and that will give a little edge like that. So it's a bit tricky to do, but I am lifting this up and lining it up. You see I'm taking this and I'm lining it up there. Quite tricky to really concentrate for this, and squashing it down. There we go. And the same here, so this inside line I'm lining up along there. I hope you can see okay. It's very 3D. It's surprisingly tricky to do, but that is part of it. And you see? So I have taken this, lined it up there on both sides, and now it means that you can tilt it forward and it will line up there. Like so, and then squashing it down. And next I'm going to fold this back from there to there. So I'm going to take this, put this back. Like so. So that's pretty much one side. Right, I'm going to flip these little fins up here. And it's going to be the same thing. So I'm going to take this inside edge and I'm going to line it up there. And it gives a little line like that. And it is always quite tricky to do. Go carefully and slowly. I find it easier to have on a surface. So I can tilt it a bit more for you to see. This edge to there. As I said, I find I have to really concentrate myself. And no, it's got to be right. So keep persistent and keep accurate. And the important thing is you're adding that fold. So this edge to there, and I'm squeezing that down. Can you see? And I'm going to do the same thing again here to there. You have to slightly reform the paper and twist it round so it will line up, and I'm squashing it down inside there. It's a bit tricky looking, isn't it? I hope you've got that. I can agree it's not the easiest to show on camera, but I hope you're getting the principle. Once you've lined it up there, you will find that you can just gently push it down, and it should line up with the other layers as well. Okay, and just take your time. I'm just getting rid of any wrinkles there. It looks to me like it's lined up. I hope you're able to see where I was adding those lines. But there's nothing like a good puzzle to give you a good sense of achievement when you do finally figure it out. And sometimes you sort of have to figure out quite a bit for yourself, really, for it to work. So again, I'm going to add a fold from there to there. So I'm just going to lift up this top layer and bring it back like so. Let's see how it's doing. So you can see there that that line's drifted a little bit. So I'm going to have to refold that a tiny bit just to make it a bit better. This is not the easiest one to start with, I have to say. But as I said, I think it's good for us to do something a bit tricky. And see how you get on. So you've got these sort of two flaps. I hope that's worked for you. You've got these almost two flaps. And in itself, it's already a lovely thing. So with one of these flaps, you can pop your finger in there and then squash it down in the middle. So keeping it all lined up nicely, make sure there's no wrinkles. It has to go fold all the way along to the very bottom of your piece of paper there, and it's this actually which keeps it all held together. So I am squashing it down like that, and then I'm going to take this and fold it back along that middle line. There we go. And I'm going to do the same with the other one. So I'm going to take this, and again I'm popping my finger in there. Maybe if you have got a tool stock, I will show you the diagram as well, which is in Robert Harbin's book, and it's from Yoshizawa, Akira Yoshizawa. And it did take me a little while to figure this out, so if you're finding it even difficult still from watching me, not surprising, it's not the easiest, but it is rather nice. Taking this and again folding it back from the middle line, and hopefully, see mine slightly out, the joys of folding into a camera, hopefully you have got something like this, which is a beautiful thing, and you can open it up if you wished. And it is a little purse, so you could have written something in there as well, and closing it up. So this is the diagram if you wanted to look as well, which is really rather lovely. So we made these almost like little fins, and then it was trying to line up this edge with that edge, and it gives that line, and that's the tricky one for me to show you really. But when you've done that on both sides, you can then push it down and it lines up with those sort of fish fins. Yeah, so that's the main thing. And then doing it at the opposite end and so on. Hopefully you've got it from there. Enjoy the challenge. I hope that you can do that, and I hope it's been an enjoyable experience for you. The sense of achievement. And yeah, maybe you can make some more of these lovely patterns. They kind of really remind me of sort of 50s sort of design as well. I think they're so lovely. I hope you've enjoyed that. Bye bye.